recording everything, so we're good now. And we're just going to kick it off with gusto. And it all starts in 3, 2, 1.
I gather it's nerve damage caused by a lack of oxygen.
It happened during some kind of prison fight, or at least that's what we've been told.
And how is the patient now?
Well, he seems to have stabilized.
He's huge.
Yes, we had to put 3 beds together.
I like fishing.
The Morning Stream. Man, give me $50.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Morning Stream for Tuesday, June 2nd, 2019. I'm Scott. He's Brian. Welcome back, Brian!
Thank you. It's good to be back. Yes, and you can tell by my voice, I really was sick. Still am kind of sick. I'm still a little congesty-jesty.
I mean, was it like full-on fever business or what?
Yeah, I think it was. Because I was doing the whole, like, alternating from sweating to being cold and having to have the blanket on me. And it knocked me, like, I was puny yesterday. I was, like, weak, puny. I was on the recliner from... about 3 a.m. I finally just got out of bed and said, I don't want to wake Tina up with hacking and snoring and making noise, because when my nose is stuffed up, the CPAP does nothing for me. CPAP, it does nothing. So basically, it's like I'm just taking the CPAP off. Yeah. I'm going to go and get on the recliner so I can be in a forced upright position so I can breathe through my mouth and did that. So basically from 3 a.m. yesterday until bedtime, I was in the recliner pretty much watching a string of Star Trek The Next Generation episodes from the middle of the Pulaski season until the near end of the 3rd season.
Oh, that's a lot of episodes, actually. Because back then
it was a lot of episodes. Like, it was almost, I guess, maybe not the end of the 3rd season. It was basically the middle of the 2nd season till about the middle of the 3rd season. And I skipped that stupid Riker Goes Caveman episode. Skip that one.
Yeah, skip that. Wait, well, that was not till 7th season. What's that one you're thinking of? Oh, you mean the clip show? The clip show that's in season 2. Is that the one? No,
there was was the clip show the very last episode of season 2? That would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yes, I think so. Is my memory. Daryl would have to confirm this, but I'm pretty sure that's the one. And then the caveman Riker one where he flips everybody off by the fish tank. That one happens. That's season 7. Yeah, that's way late. 7. All
right, hold on a second. Let's see here. Star Trek.
That's when what's his name becomes a spider. Worf becomes like some kind of prehistoric thing. What's her name? The Beta Zed becomes a fish.
Right. Okay. It was Shades of Grey. Shades of Grey. What is the? Yeah, that's right. That was the clip show. So I skipped the clip show.
Good. You did the right thing, dude. The right.
Yeah. Because all right. Yeah. It wasn't. I guess it was just that Riker was in a. Had a virus going on. Seems like a pretty appropriate one. But that's right. He was dreaming of his past adventures. Oh yeah, I totally skipped that stupid
It was
episode.
A sexually transmitted disease that he had. No, I don't know if it was.
Yeah. Boy, you watch him in some of those, I mean, you kind of get the thing for Troy, obviously.
Yeah.
But there's episodes where he's like buying drinks for ladies in 10 forward who just shake their heads like, oh, that Riker.
Yeah. No, he's a little skeevy. Although the captain of the creep show, as far as I'm concerned, in all of Star Trek, is Tom Paris. I recently watched like 4 or 5 Voyager episodes, especially early on. Yeah. Tom Paris is a douchebag, like big time, like hitting on everybody. It's like, oh, hey, come here, Commander Kim, or what your name was? It Kim? Whatever his name was, the Asian dude. Come over here. Look at these new ladies that just came on the ship. They just got on here. Why don't we go over there and see if we can't, like, dude, slow down, slow your roll.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Harry Kim, that's who it was.
Jeez. But the episode right after the clip show, one of my favorites, which is the Nanites episode, where Wesley releases the nanites that he's doing a science experiment with, and they take over the ship and play John Philip
Oh,
Sousa and put up the shields randomly, and
right. And his mom's back, and she can't connect with
mom's
him,
back,
and because he won't tell her what he did wrong and all that. Yeah, that is a
Right,
good one,
exactly.
actually. That's a really good episode. That one works.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Pulaski is out of there. See you later.
later Pulaski.
Yeah. You know what? In retrospect, I didn't hate her time. Like, had she
No,
been
no.
had she been the doctor for the whole run, we'd have gotten fine. We'd been fine. It's just that you can't
Totally, yeah.
you can't suddenly uproot your doctor and then put in replacement doctor and expect everybody to be okay with it, or to know that this is a lady who used to be in old classic Star Trek. Nobody knew that at the time. I didn't know that. She just was like some
Right.
old lady that came
Right.
in. So it's fine. It's fine.
No, and she just, there was no real connection with her and any of the rest of the cast, it felt like, right? Like, at least Gates McFadden there was like this little flirty thing going on with her and Picard, and there was this relationship with her and Wesley, and Troy and Crusher would do yoga together in their their overly too tight stretch pants.
Yeah.
But yeah, Diana Muldaur, Pulaski really didn't have that connection. She always felt like, here's all the crew and they're all doing this stuff. Oh, and here's the doctor.
Yep, you're totally right. By the way, that yoga happened on the camel toe deck. Not a lot of people know
Camel toe, that's what it was. I was trying to remember the word camel toe.
that. Camel toe
Still
deck.
not fully 100%. 61%, Scott. 61%.
This is how you know if Brian's at 100% is that he'll remember at the blink of an eye
remember
the
camel
word
toe.
camel toe. That's fantastic.
Exactly. Yes.
All right, so that's great. I think TNG is the perfect sick material. Like I when I've been ill, I've done similar things. Where last summer, right around now, that I had that horrible fever that took like 7 days to get through.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of Star Trek. There's something about it. It's like comfort food during
Yeah.
your illness.
It is comfort food, and it's one where you don't feel like, I'm not going to watch The Expanse while I'm sick because I want to be able to pay attention to it. I want to make sure I don't miss plot points. I've seen those TNG episodes so many times that my brain just fills in the missing pieces.
Yep.
And I don't feel like, oh, I'm dozing off. No worries. I don't need to pause. I don't need to try and stay awake because, it was in and out of fever dreams and illness.
Oh, man, I feel for you. I hate that so bad. Now, okay, but let's get to the meat of this. It's one thing to be sick, okay? Yeah. Everyone gets sick, and usually it's like, oh, I don't feel so great. I'm going to go lay down. Okay, cool. Then you got a couple of days to whatever. That's not what this is. This is you fighting off something last week, and we talk about it on TMSPM, and then you're like, oh, I hope it's nothing. I'll take some zinc and whatever. And then you got to go on like this hardcore 2-day weekend, let's all help MS freaking bike ride while you're in this condition. I don't know how you freaking even did the first day.
And that's the thing, I kept kicking myself on Sunday morning, and I'll talk more about the race or the ride on Saturday. But Sunday morning, I was just kicking myself because I was sick, and I'm like, I really want to do it, but I was coughing and shaking and sweating in the middle of the night, and I probably shouldn't. Tina's like, no, you absolutely shouldn't. What's the matter with you? Don't do the ride today. And I was just feeling so guilty for not doing it, and feeling, because we went to the starting line and saw my uncle off. He rode. My Aunt Barb, who has MS, had just massive heat stroke.
Oh no!
On Saturday, and actually had to take the van from rest stop 3 to the lunch stop, and then she did finish out the race, and we waited at the finish line for her to come in.
It's
neighbor,
unseasonably warmer right now, isn't it, where you guys are?
It was, and they the weather got up to, the temperature got up to like 90 something along the ride, and there are these stretches where you're either going uphill or you're going on this long flat straightaway with the only wind coming at you is a hot headwind, which is just drying you out, dehydrating you. I had my Camelback filled with ice water, and then I had an insulated bottle on my frame. And when I got to the finish line, even from just the last rest stop to the finish line, I had polished off almost all of my Camelback and completely all of my insulated bottle.
Wow.
It was like,
wow.
They measured the heat at something like 120 coming off of the asphalt.
Ugh.
Right above us. So, or I mean, right below us. So all that hot air coming right at us, the heat of the asphalt coming up towards us, it was horrible. So as I'm sitting there kicking myself for not um, not racing on Sunday, I'm reminded, and especially yesterday, how bad I was feeling. I was like, no, I shouldn't think about it as I didn't do the second 75 miles. I should think of it as I did the first 75 miles with the beginnings of a cold and made it through on the other side.
Yeah, and became like a full-on like death flu on the other side. You know?
Yeah, I think the exhaustion absolutely eliminated my resistance, and so the cold said, we found purchase. We can now completely decimate this human body. Let's do it.
Yeah, that'll happen. I mean, the opposite can happen where you just, you power through it and your immune system kicks into higher gear and stuff, but no such luck.
And that's where I thought it was. The adrenaline that I felt on Saturday, I thought was, all right, this is it, man. This is I'm kicking this thing's butt. I did have a pack of Kleenex, and I was, blowing my nose a few times along during the ride. I'd be pedaling along and then reach back into the back pocket of the shirt and then blow my nose while I'm riding. It felt like a real cool dude, like not pulling over to blow my nose or anything. No, I'm going to keep on riding.
Right.
But one stop, I think it was the lunch stop. I decided to go over and use the porta potty. And
how'd that go?
It was fine. There was like a big long line of people waiting to use it. And but it was one of those things where there was a row of porta potties, and then we were all kind of forgetting that there was a second row on the back behind that row, right? Like it was back to back porta potties, so like 5 in front and 5 behind. And this guy comes out and says, "No waiting on the back side." And I said, "That's the title of my sex tape." And then I walked around and used the the back porta potty. Nice. I think the guy behind me laughed, but I just basically channeling Peralta from Brooklyn Nine-Nine for that one.
Good idea. I love it.
Yeah.
So did you were people nice this year? Everybody was like, riding in their little space.
For the most part.
Yeah.
For the most part, there were a couple incidences. We had a lot of folks who decided that they, in a 2-lane or a 2-bike width bike lane, were going to ride side by side and carry on a conversation to the point where even if you said coming up on your left, they wouldn't like try and go single file, or even the one on the left would like slide in a little bit. They would just go, "Okay, thank you," and expect you then to still pass them by getting into the right lane of car traffic to pass them. Really frustrating. Come on, you want to have a conversation, go walk, or at the very least have your conversation and then drop back when you're in a cluster of people, and then you can pull alongside each other when there's no people around. Because there were long stretches where I didn't have anybody behind or in front of me for blocks. I felt like because as there's 2,200 people on the race, I found out, are doing the ride.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And they stage the starts so that instead of everybody all starting at once in this big massive cluster of twisted metal and legs, it's like little clusters of about 20 people at a time every few minutes. And so that kind of helps to spread everybody out. And then just naturally you get the hardcore Ironmen zipping past everybody, and then the lollygaggers kind of dropping back behind, and I'm somewhere in the middle. I finished actually in 5.5 hours, I think.
It's pretty good.
So
yeah, I could have driven to Vegas in that time.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Like about average of about 15 miles an hour. So it was
that's awesome. You looked the part too. These videos and streams you were doing, you look like Mr. Joe Bikerman all the time.
Well, it's funny too because Tina's mom thought, I think Brian has heat stroke because he's kind of getting silly and slurring his words in the last couple videos. That last one, I decided to have some fun and put an orange slice in my mouth.
Nice.
And or the next to last one, and I don't think she got that I was just trying to be silly. I think she thought that I had
That you were
been
losing
suffering
it?
from heat stroke and was.
She's like, he doesn't usually get like this unless we're at Dave's house in the basement on a Saturday night.
Right.
Oh,
exactly.
man. Well, I'm glad you at least got the one day. Nobody should expect you to run that second day in your condition. No way.
No, yeah. And everybody, and even coming off of it, George said, it was just as hot the second day, even though there was cloud cover near the end. He says, you would have been miserable and it probably would have made you even sicker. They gave me a medal because you get a medal if you complete any part of the race. And since I did the first full day, they're like, oh yeah, you get a medal. But I'm putting that medal away until Sunday. I do a makeup ride, a self-imposed makeup ride that I've already mapped out and am planning on doing. It's not going to be the full 75 miles. It's going to be a 48 mile ride that I'm going to just do solo on Sunday, which I think is a good trade-off. There won't be pit stops every 8 miles with Nutter Butters and bananas and peanut butter and, and snacks and stuff. I'll just have my Camelback and my water and
you should you should call it a makeup ride, and then you should do Paul Stanley or Gene Simmons as well. You should have that makeup on
for that kind of a makeup ride.
Yeah, yeah. Do the two things at once. Why not? Kill two birds. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm glad you're good, and I'm hoping you're on the mend, and obviously you're here, so it's pretty mendy.
Yeah.
Give us the percentage again. You always do this. What's your percentage? How you feeling?
61% is 61. Where I'm at right now.
All right. Hopefully. That's a good 61 is so granular. I love it.
61.
Where did did the 1% just like how do you quantify that? Do you go,
well, I was thinking, all right, do I feel like I'm 70%? Definitely not. Do I feel like I'm 60%? Oh, easily, maybe even a little bit more, let's say 61%. That's where it comes from. Like,
I love that.
I'm thinking about my Legend of Zelda hearts and
Ninja Cowboy in the chat room yells granular. Have you never heard granular? It's a word. Go to school, Ninja Cowboy. Granular. 42. Go study. Hit the books. Hit the books.
Hit the books.
All right.
My next door neighbor, she raced as well, or rode as well, and her friend, she Sunday morning hit a traffic cone because she was in a cluster of people, and somebody in front of her veered at the last second to avoid a cone. She didn't see it. She hit it. Ooh. She went end over end, cracked her helmet, which basically saved her life. Sprained her arm, or basically she didn't break her arm, but basically, I mean, obviously they pulled her from the race, so she was out.
So this neighbor was your crazy neighbor's wife or no? Crazy neighbor wife?
No. Other side of our house.
Oh, the ones where the Russians lived before.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, all right. Well, it wasn't too much hassle for her to get on a bike and go for it.
It was not too much hassle. Well, it was too much hassle for her to continue the race. That's for sure.
I guess so.
Anyway.
I have to make a further correction here. He says that it's a word, but it was odd usage of it. No, it's the literal use of it is when you're doing incremental things, it's very granular. So 1% on 60 is a granular change. It's a tiny, tiny thing.
Right.
Whereas most people would say 60, 65. Brian rightly says 61. So
yes, granular means getting down to the grain.
Yeah, you can get more and more granular the more you go. You could say Brian could say I'm at 60.283 if he wanted. That's even more granular. All right, let's move on. Hey, I went to this pool yesterday because we got this community pool here.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's nice. We have a couple of them actually, and the one that we go to is closer to us, so we go there, and it's open for most of June and forward, and I think it ends. I think they close it on What is it? Labor Day or Memorial Day in September?
It's Labor Day.
Labor Day.
We just had Memorial Day, May.
That's right.
Labor Day, September.
There you go. They close that then, so we have this huge time to use it, and it's great. It's never too crowded, and families can come. You can bring guests. You just have to have your little HOA card, and you just get in, and it's great. So we were going there yesterday. I'm not getting in the pool because I'm just going to read, and so Carter wants to get in the pool. Kim wants to get in the pool, but they're just out there sunning, and I'm reading. This is yesterday after late evening. We were there till about 7:30, and it's great. Except while I'm there, or since we were there last, they have decided right next to it to build some of these expensive condos they've been putting in. Totally fine.
Oh, right.
Totally fine, because everything's growing and great, whatever. People are buying these like crazy. It's fine. It's good for our home values and stuff. But I noticed that the way these things are sitting, and they just got finished, they're on the other side of the fence, and the windows of these homes, multiple stacks of windows, because they're like 4-story townhomes, they have a bird's eye view of the pool.
Basically an overlooking audience. I remember you talking about this when you were walking the dog, and I think you passed them and said that you noticed that as they were building them that they were doing this.
Yes, good. Yeah, actually, that's true. I did bring it up before, and I was thinking to myself at the time, oh, they're doing the shorter ones here because obviously you can't have people creeping over a pool like this. It's full of kids and,
Au contraire, I guess you can.
I guess apparently you can. So now we got people going, kind of just peering over there. And it's not so much that I know that, hotels do this. I know this isn't that weird. But for a community pool, just seems a little...
Did you notice people looking out their windows just watching the pool all day long?
I saw a head up in there. Just a head, like a silhouette of a head going, "Quiet, mother. I'll have to shut you up again, mother." No, it wasn't like that. But I did see a head. So, yeah, man. I don't know. I just the whole thing gave me the willies, but I guess it's fine. I don't care if they see me. In fact, it'll probably gross them out and they'll leave. And they won't be looking at the kids.
They'll stop watching. That'll teach them to look at the pool for sure.
That's exactly right. Anyway, we're gonna keep going though because we like the pool. The pool is good, although it's run by a bunch of 16-year-olds. Like, it doesn't fill me with confidence. That's all I'm saying. I understand that that's how it works, and they hire kids to be the lifeguards, and I get it. But when I'm there, it just makes me feel like they're all douchey 16-year-old boys who can't wait to go home and find more porn to look at, or set something on fire, or draw a penis on the tunnel. I just hate them.
So wait, so it's less that they're inexperienced and young and maybe don't have the medical background and skills to be a lifeguard. It's the fact that they're probably gross little pervs who are watching you porn all day long.
You know what it is? It's because I have a stereotype that was established in my high school years where all of my friends that were lifeguards or on the swim team, complete total douchebaggery going on.
Really?
Constantly.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was bad. So I think that's what that is. I think it's just crept up again, and it's fine. Now, would they save anybody if they went in? Maybe. Maybe they'd be the talk of the town. Well done, Curtis. You jumped in at the right time and saved Aunt Jemima from drowning, or whatever you did.
Oh, jeez.
But it seems like they're not going to do a very good job. I don't know. Maybe they will do a good job. What do you mean, there we go,
Why
Monkey
Aunt
Bananas?
Jemima? Why Aunt Jemima?
I don't know. I want pancakes. I'm hungry. That's what it is. It just came to mind. I can't help it. All right. We're going to do some news.
She can float, by the way. If there's any air in her bottle, she can float.
I didn't think about that. She would be in bottle form, right? She wouldn't be in human form.
Oh, yeah, no. She'd be in bottle form.
Okay, good.
Help,
right.
I'm drowning.
I'm drowning.
In delicious syrup.
Just imagine breakfast without me. Save me. I love Aunt Jemima. She's so good. All right. Speaking of sticky wet things, let's do this.
This is your radio newscaster with another exclusive sensational summary of world and local events.
Hey, check it out. It's the news, and it's brought to you by...
Mrs. Novak chose to get into teaching in Louisiana. The state ranked 50th in education. With no concern of education, there are also no funds for education. As such, please help Mrs. Novak raise funds for buying new tables and chairs for her class by going to GoFundMe.com/Mrs. Novak. That's MRSNOVAK.
Nice.
I don't know if that's case sensitive or not, but if it isn't, or if it is, then capital M and Mrs. N and Novak.
Yeah, I don't think it is, but I could be wrong.
I don't think it is either.
I don't think they make you do that. That would be counterintuitive for them to have their web stuff set up that way. All right. Here's a fun one. Saw this and went, oh, of course we're going to have this on the news.
By the way, confirmed, not case sensitive.
Oh, it's not? All right, well done.
It's not, yes.
Arby's, they got the meats and all that.
We have the meats.
Yeah.
It took me the longest time to... I was so surprised when I found out that was Ving Rhames.
Oh, really? I think I knew. Well, maybe someone had to tell me too. Maybe I didn't know either.
Yeah.
Someone had. I think Kim.
I think you and I might have found out at the same time. I want to say that Randy told us during an episode of Film Sack that was Ving Rhames.
Was that back when we were talking, when we were testing out shakes and stuff before you got all skinny?
Might have been, yeah. Oh man, I was by a Chick-fil-A the other day, and I was thinking to myself, I wonder if their peach shakes are back, because those, I think I did put those as the number one milkshake of summer.
You picked it. That was yours. I went with something. I think I did Freddy's, but
Freddy's,
yeah. But we
awesome as well.
But we had some argument about whether that's truly a shake. Is it's like a custard thing? Is that different? Like I don't know.
Right.
Making me hungry right now thinking about it. Hey, I will be. Let me tell the world. Hold on.
Yeah.
I lost this week. I did a 7-day really solid run of exercise and better food,
tracking and all that. Yep.
All that 7-day streak, and I am at 6.8 pounds down. I lost 6.5 or almost 7 pounds.
And just in that week.
Yeah, just being.
Dude, that's awesome.
Being less of a pig.
That's so cool. I don't think I had any weeks where I lost that much since like the first couple.
Yeah,
weeks, right?
my expectation is the same. I'm going to have like a real run here at the top, and then it'll slow down as I get lower. But yeah.
Oh well, you've been losing weight for the weeks before that, right?
Mm-hmm,
this isn't.
Oh yeah. So I probably shaved.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Probably shaved 15 off since I started the Skinny Scott stuff, and then according to this, my goal weight, which is right around 220. Will happen in October. If I keep this current rate up, that's when it'll happen. So I'm gonna try real hard. You know what really pushed me over the edge and made me really stick to it this week? Let me tell you. The doctor looking at me going, low T, low T.
Oh, the low T, sure.
Pissed me off.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about this here thing. Arby's, they're making meat-based vegetables to rival plant-based meats.
So this is possible vegetables.
Yeah, possible vegetables.
As opposed to impossible meat, these are possible vegetables.
That's right. This is in response to the meatless burger craze, which apparently is taking the world by storm, although I've still not tried one. I kind of want to. Have you done that? Have you tried any of this impossible meat?
I did. I had an impossible burger in Vegas, or I had a bite of Tanner's Impossible Burger in Vegas while we were there for TMS Vegas this last time. And I was amazed at how much like meat it tasted. It was like texture-wise, was probably the only place where I noticed a difference. Flavor, totally meat. Yeah.
I'm down with that. I could do that.
But it's got more points than regular meat, so than regular beef. So it wouldn't make sense for me to do it while I'm on the Weight Watchers thing.
Our Del Taco, which is Spanish for Del Taco, up the road here.
Right?
They have, I'm sure they have them everywhere.
It's just a guy's name. His name is Del Taco. It's just a guy.
Yeah.
Hey, Del, how you doing? Good.
Dell Computers wasn't working out. Decided to make a taco.
Dude, you're getting a Del Taco.
Exactly. So I went over there, and we were there, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. I don't remember how long ago this was, but they now have a taco selection that is that impossible meat thing choice. I didn't look at calories, but the price was more. And that's going to be the big holdback for a lot of people. And I know how this goes with trends. Trends are expensive until they're not trends anymore, and I understand that. But if you really want people to go for these alternatives, you got to be as priced like meat or under. It's got to be that way, or else it's never going to take off the way you want it to. It'll be all hipsters and shitheads. So, yeah.
And the Impossible Meat folks are finding that they're having a hard time keeping up with demand. So, I mean, there's a positive aspect to this, but the prices are even going to go higher if they can't keep up with.
Sorry, I just noticed something from
how things are going.
Mr. Roboto says, it's synthetic meat. It's going to give you cancer. It's vegetable-based meat. It's not fake meat. It's not synthetic. They don't make it in a factory. Well, they do. But it's made from vegetable stuff that makes it. It's not like it's made out of space dust or something. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
Anyway. Brian, let's talk about... Oh, I guess I haven't told you where you get these and stuff. Here you go. Company posted a video Wednesday showing their new creation this last Wednesday. These are carrots made of turkey breast. It's a 60-second video titled The Merit. Not like Tom Merritt, but The Merit.
The Merit.
It opened with the line, quote, "If they can make meat from veggies and other stuff, we can make veggies from meat." It then shows the turkey breast being sliced and rolled into the shape of carrots in a cheesecloth.
So this is at at Arby's you can get this.
Yes, right now, I think. Well, maybe they're suggesting that you will soon, but I haven't actually gone to check, so I don't know that for sure. The chef then cooked the meat sous vide style. They placed it in a vacuum-sealed bag, cooked in a temperature-controlled water before rolling the pieces of special dried carrot juice powder and roasting them in a change from Arby's classic slogan, "We have the meats." The video closes with the words, "We have the vegetables."
Vegetables?
Who the hell is calling me? Hold on.
If
that goes to voicemail, we'll listen to it. Plant-based meats are the latest incarnation of making vegetables look like what Americans really want, which is a great tasty meal, says Jim Taylor, Chief Marketing Officer at Arby's. Boy, I bet that guy has some tricks up his sleeve because they're pretty good right now. I like Arby's.
Right?
I could eat there now. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll get me a Euro today. Those aren't so bad.
Yeah, and the fact that, they've got turkey sandwiches. They've got roast chicken sandwich. Oh, pecan chicken salad sandwich. Yeah, that doesn't look like it'd be low points. But I do forget about the fact that they've got a lot of turkey sandwiches and roast chicken sandwiches that would probably be points-wise more on track with where things should be.
I agree.
For me.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm not seeing. I'm on their page right now, and I'm not seeing. Unfortunately, the vegetables have not made it to their website.
Oh, that's too bad.
Can I tell you how janky though? Arby's, like, you think of Burger King and McDonald's and their kids meals, and it's like, Burger King's got Pokemon Detective Pikachu toys, and McDonald's has Little Avengers toys for Endgame. I don't know what they currently have. Then you go to Arby's, free with your kids meal, little cardboard cutouts of Temple Run 2 players.
Oh my gosh, really? That's
Temple Run 2.
Really? That's for real? That's
really
crazy.
That's really what it is, yes.
What a boring freaking tie-in you got going there, Arby's.
little two-dimensional coin head people, I guess.
Their little Market Fresh sandwich selection, though, very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, you can get a... what's the one I got? They have a really good BLT, although I think it's probably high calorie. But the gyros they make, you can get it in lamb's meat, or the beef, or the sliced turkey. So you can get it like a gyro or gyro, whatever the people call it, the Greek thing, the Greek
gyro.
sandwich.
Yeah, gyro.
With a meat that's less less carcinogenic or whatever. I don't know if that's what that is. I'm making all this shit up. But they're good. I can tell you that. Good. This is not a direct... this is not us endorsing this company. We're just saying.
No, I'm having thanks to one of our sponsors, I'm going to be having a vegan calzone.
I had that one and it was really good, dude. It was really
You had the calzone already?
Yes. It was fan-freaking-tastic. Oh my gosh, it was good.
That's cool. Did you do toaster oven to make sure the bread stayed crispy and didn't get chewy?
I did, and then I used it comes with a little packet of marinara
packet of sauce.
Yeah, I poured that on it. That was really good. And then there's another one that's like an enchilada thing they got in there. You're gonna love that.
Yes, I had that yesterday for lunch.
Oh, if you had it, then that thing's amazing.
It is awesome. Yeah, the enchilada casserole, totally awesome.
I can't believe there's no meat in any of that stuff.
I know.
It's crazy.
I know.
Have
we started doing those sponsorships yet?
I don't think so. I don't think they've come up.
Let me know if you need me to chime in on any of this.
Oh, I guarantee we do. I guarantee we do. Actually, do you?
Yeah.
What's the name of those guys? Hold on.
Vistro.
There it is, Vistro. I'll just say it right now. Vistro's good.
Vegan Vistro.
Yeah, it's real good. I was surprised by it. Go look them up. Go Google them, everybody. Yeah. You'll be surprised, especially if you're looking for good.
Anyway, back to the vegetables made out of meat. The exact opposite of.
Exactly. Well, I'll tell you what. Instead, let's talk about the other side that no one wants to talk about. Arby's in Wisconsin, a serial toilet clogger got 150 days behind bars and 3 years probation.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, shut up, phone. My phone thinks I'm talking to it. I'm not. I never said Siri. Okay? All right.
I can't wait to find out how this guy is a serial toilet clogger. Like, how is a certain member of my family not accused of this crime? Whenever he or she comes to visit us.
He or she. I know who you're talking about. Actually, the big offender here in this house has always been Carter, and I don't know what her deal is, but she can clog a toilet. Like she's listening right now. I apologize, sweetie. You're the greatest, but for some reason, she can send a toilet screaming over the hill. She just doesn't. I don't know.
I'm sure she's so glad that you provided this information.
It's a big joke around the house. She'll be fine. It's not so bad anymore. When she was growing up, man, every other day, I swear. Anyway, so here's the deal. Wisconsin man, dubbed the serial toilet clogger, was sentenced to 150 days in jail and some probation on Monday after being convicted of 5 counts of criminal damage to property for repeatedly plugging plastic bottles, or plunging them, rather, down toilets in the women's restroom in his workplace, causing the overflow. So he was going in there, jamming a bottle in there, huge overflow.
So he's not doing it with a turd. He's doing it with a plastic water bottle or something.
Yeah. In this case, he's the turd, basically.
He's the turd. Maybe he puts a turd in the bottle. Wouldn't that be?
Oh, my Lord. Can you imagine? Yes,
if I could put a turd in a bottle.
Imagine how
the first
gross
thing
it
that
would
I'd
be.
like to do
Jam
is
it
to
in
plug
the
up
girls'
the can in the woman's
bathroom.
restroom, and then I'd leave, and they'd blame it on you.
That's a good song. That's a good cover.
That just put me up to 62%.
There you go. Well done. How very granular of you, Chad. Very granular. All right. It says here his name is Patrick D. Beeman. B-Man. He is 26 years old, of Sheboygan, and originally faced 12 counts of criminal damage to property, but 7 of the charges were dismissed in early June. It says, I need to make things right and pray for forgiveness every day, Beeman said. In court on Monday, the man allegedly told police he could not explain his behavior, but simply said that he would get very strong urges to do this. So that's what it was. It was an urge.
Good Lord. Like it's a compulsion.
Yeah.
I have plastic toilet, or plastic water bottle toilet plug-in syndrome.
I got this in my hand. What do I do with it? I want to go jam it in the toilet so bad. Police began investigating him after they found the toilet in the women's bathroom of the community center clogged with a plastic bottle. Officers reviewed 10 similar instances at the center since April. Each clogged toilet cost the city about $200 to repair, according to the criminal complaint. Look, as somebody who's had, my niece used to put like phone cases and stuff down toilets when she was like a toddler. We had a toilet we had to swap out. It cost me about $200. So, yeah, that sucked.
Yeah, and I'm guessing there's some unfortunate poor soul who's going to be this guy's cellmate in for 150 days in jail. Who's basically, no, don't give him another water bottle.
Yeah, no, what's the matter? He can't make a shiv out of it. You don't understand. No, don't let me in here.
This thing too.
Because all you got is the little metal can in there that you share.
Exactly. Yes.
Oh, that's the worst. Oh my gosh, you see the? I don't want to. Never mind. I'm not going to bring it up. It's too political. But let's just say I saw a picture of some terrible conditions yesterday, and they just looked like the worst possible toilet setups. It just made my stomach roll. Anyway, long story. I'm not going to tell it now. Hey, check this story out. Cosmonauts, you know the Russian kind? You know them.
Yeah. I'm familiar. I'm familiar with the cosmonauts.
They are refusing to provide semen samples in space. They just won't do it. Russian scientists know that in order to settle other planets and build other space habitats, space travelers will need to start families, just like they do on Earth, right? You got to sustain your species there.
Must resist Russian stereotype phrase until late in the story. Must resist.
Well, I mean, if you asked one of them, why don't you give your sample in space, they might say...
It's too much hassle.
See? Nailed it. Says here, unfortunately, they're having a hard time with the requirement or the recruitment process. Russian cosmonauts keep refusing to provide semen samples during their space missions, putting a stop to a space reproduction study before they can even start. Irina Ogneva, a cell by...
Left arm too tired. Can't give any more samples. Sorry.
No more samples. Can't do left hand.
Getting blister on inside of hand.
Watch Chernobyl. I think I may have radiated sperm. Let's see.
Running out of good porn.
In space, there is no good porn in space.
Someone did not renew subscription to MrSkin.com. I am done. I'm done with Cosmonaut job. You'll get nothing else out of me.
So cheap since breakup of Soviet Union. Pay for porn. It says here, Irina Ogneva, a cell biophysicist in the Russian Academy of Sciences, wants to study how space travel affects sperm production and by comparing sperm from before, during, and after spaceflight. This all makes sense. It's very scientific. But cosmonauts aren't too jazzed about the middle part. Quote, we constantly encounter obstacles. Jazzed. Yeah, you know, the Russians get pretty jazzed about things.
Yeah.
We constantly encounter obstacles of a moral and psychological and ethical nature, she said in an interview with the state-run media outlet RIA Novosti. There are no cosmonauts who want to. What? What's the word fumble doing in there?
Cosmonauts who want to.
Yeah, but why is the word fumble right under that? Do you know what that's about? I can't tell what that is.
No.
Okay, it's a
No,
weird
it's just
artifact.
like all of a sudden a referee stepped in and called that play.
Fumble. Wait,
Fumble.
What's fumble? Is
I
that
don't
it?
know. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I think that's it.
It's fumble.
No, that's I think the rolling the hands there is like time ran out on the the play clock.
Oh, right.
I can't remember. Yeah.
I think you're right.
Oh, is that offsides?
Oh, that's
offsides?
traveling.
Okay.
The chat's now saying offsides, traveling.
Well, traveling is basketball.
Yeah, we're talking about football.
Yeah.
Whatever.
They don't have fumbles in. I guess maybe they do have fumbles in basketball.
They drop the ball during the play. So wait, is it fumbling then? I don't know what they're saying.
I don't know. Okay. Oh, okay. He's saying that was the joke. Oh, you guys threw us off completely in our joke about Russians not wanting to masturbate for science.
It's definitely not turnover. It's masturbate for science is that's a great.
Oh, fumble is what happens, but not an official sign. The sign is that for turnover. Right. So they don't do this to signify fumble. They do whatever it is that signifies a turnover, which is the result of a fumble. Gotcha.
Now, when they kick somebody out of a game, it seems like in baseball and basketball, it's the same, where they come up and they do the T thing, and then they, right in your face, like point.
Yeah. Oh, baseball, big time, and the red card in soccer. Did you see those? We were watching them dole out the yellow cards last week during the FIFA women's games.
Oh, I missed it. Were they going
They
crazy
run
with
like
it?
the ref just runs right up and just shoves a yellow card right in their face, basically.
Oh, I love that.
Like angrily.
Yeah, I like that. I like when they do that. But what if it's football? How do you kick somebody out in football? Same thing?
I don't know.
Not a card, I mean, but like just pointing out, like get out.
Well, I mean,
go to the locker room?
they do a personal foul usually, but it's up to the coach, I think, to pull them out, right? Because they'll the refs will put a personal foul on somebody for late hit or unsportsmanlike conduct or anything like that.
Oh.
And then the coach says, "All right, I'm pulling you."
I think he just kind of says it, right? It's not that.
Yeah, I think so.
Not that big a deal.
Ejected is what. Yeah.
Well, anyway, these guys are not gonna do it. It says no space sperm could be no space conception, no space families, no space colonies.
No space, no space conception, no space families, no space colonies, and no Lieutenant Yar.
Did you see that one in your watching, or is that?
No, I did. That's
shoot.
season 1.
Shoot, dang it! That would have been fun to revisit that.
Yeah, I think Yar, didn't she die during season 1?
It's 2, I thought. No?
Did she? Okay, yeah. I apparently tuned in after Yar had passed away because the only mention of Yar was when Pulaski decided she was going to do the tea ceremony with Worf that apparently Tasha Yar would do with him, and so Pulaski took this like antidote for the poison because the tea is poisonous, and then drank the tea with Worf
Oh, right.
because otherwise it would have killed her.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
I'll do this for you.
See if I can find the actual Star Trek article on Tasha Yar it's all like taking the lore seriously. And they don't actually tell me when anything happens here. So let's see, because she came back a couple of times. Oh, you know what? You're right. Let's see, wait, hold on. Appearances concept. Okay, appearances.
Better, and in those listings of appearances, better not include Nerdtacular 2017 because she phoned that one in with a recording.
Literally phoned it in, that thing. I can't find where she died. Maybe it was season 1. You might be right. That would have been a good way to end things, right? Anyway, but she says she was miserable on the set. She hated it there.
Really?
That kind of bums me out a little bit. You know, like, I don't want to hear that. It says here, StarTrekMovie.com, or TrekMovie.com, says, Denise Crosby says, I was miserable on Star Trek TNG. I couldn't.
Episode 22 of season 1, Skin of Evil.
Okay, so it was. So that black trash bag is the skin of evil. Is that the idea?
Yes.
All right. It says here I was miserable. I could not wait to. Excuse me. I could not wait to get off of that show. I was dying inside. This was not an overnight decision. I was grateful to have made many episodes, but I didn't want to spend the next 6 years going aye aye Captain and standing there in the same uniform, in the same position on that bridge. It just scared the hell out of me that this was all I was going to do for the next X amount of years. I think you have to take your chances. I was really young. I don't have to make house payments or put kids through private school or support people. I was free to make those kinds of decisions. I've been in an acting school. Okay, so basically she just didn't want to get typecast and get stuck there. That's what it was.
Yeah, but then why did she come back a few years later to play the alternate reality Tasha Yar?
I'm going to say the M word, money.
Right. I guess I can suffer through some of the crap for this.
I think she got further down the road and people went, I don't know if you're okay. Probably should have embraced that job, you know? Probably should have got all you could get out of it and still be reaping royalties from 7 seasons of content that you otherwise gave up. Like maybe you should have done that. Mm-hmm. But lately she's all right. She's in that a couple years ago, Walking Dead thing.
Walking Dead,
She was great in that.
She was really good in that.
She died in Dexter in a nasty way.
That's right. Pet Cemetery.
Oh, yeah, Pet Cemetery. What else? That's it. And that thing for Nerdtacular that time. That was great.
And that thing for Nerdtacular a couple years ago.
It's good stuff. All right, let's finish up today with a story about Macy's. It's a store. It's a place you go to do stuff. We go there. We have one, I guess. I don't know.
And Macy's?
Yeah, I don't go there very often, though. It's not really my joint. But Kim has been known to spend some time in the Macy's.
It's on the way. For us, it's on the way to the other stores that we want to go to. We park at the Macy's, walk through, and then go to the other stores that we really want to go to.
Do you have to avoid the perfume ladies? How do you do that?
We do. We don't actually. I mean, we go in through the second level, so it's an automatic avoidance because they're down in they're on the first floor.
Yeah. I do that too. We will walk through I don't know if it's Macy's. I destroyed a Macy's toilet in Phoenix. Just destroyed it.
Did you do it with a plastic water bottle, Scott?
No, I did it the old-fashioned way, Brian. Just destroyed it
with a giant poop.
For the record, it was already kind of destroyed when I got there. I just contributed to the destruction.
You just pushed it further down the.
Yeah. Sorry, Phoenix. I love you, but. Here's this. This is interesting. A woman visited a Macy's store for makeup and left with a permanent X on her face.
Oh no.
Yeah, let's learn more. An Ohio woman who dropped off by Macy's to get her makeup done, wound up with a tattoo like X.
She dropped by Macy's.
Yeah, she dropped by. Why did I read that wrong? Who dropped by Macy's?
You wanted to really put an off in there.
I really
did. An off in the next line.
Yeah. Why did I want to keep putting off?
Oh yeah, because there is an off in the next line. So I think you saw that word in the second line.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm ahead of myself then.
Sorry.
She got no, it's all good. Tattoo like X on her cheek that won't scrub off, she claims, in a new lawsuit. She's suing them. Her name is Judy Plunick. She visited the department store in Baybrook Hall in Houston, Texas for a beauty consultation in February 2018. And she says she left with a discolored mark that sits on the right side of her face just below her eye. My dermatologist tried to get it off and could not get it off. He said if he used a magic marker, makeup or ink pen, he could get it off. But it went right into my skin pigment, almost like a tattoo, and it's been over a year and a half, and it's still there, she says. Let's see. This is a woman who went in to get her makeup done and comes out with a brand, says her attorney. She's terribly embarrassed by it. Her face may be scarred by it. The employee in question told ABC 13 she didn't recall the X mark on Plunick's face, then referred questions to Macy's. Macy said, "We are committed to ensuring that all our customers and colleagues are treated with respect and dignity. As a company, we are unable to comment or provide any additional information on ongoing investigations." Let's see if we can find a photo of this lady's X.
Yeah, it's on there's a photo, there's a video on the site, but the video freeze frame basically shows the lady with the X on her face. I mean, it's a noticeable X.
Would you sue for that? Would you sue somebody for that? I mean, not really a litigious guy, but you know what I mean? Like, if it was a permanent thing, would you be like, yeah, I probably should?
If I felt like, I mean, if I could prove that it was caused by the Macy's counter, then I probably would, because it is, I mean, you look at this woman and it's a very prominent X on her cheek, but what did they put on her that would be stronger than like a Sharpie, you know? Like what could they have put on her face that would have made something like that permanent that a dermatologist was not able to get off? I'm thinking that she might have actually had this X before, as like an age spot or something like that.
Yeah.
And then she went to Macy's to see if they could cover it up, and then, you know, made up this story on the other side.
I could see that, because it doesn't look exactly like an X. I mean, maybe it is, but maybe it's bruising that just stayed. She just got like a little permanent little hematoma kind of thing going on there. Yeah. I don't know. I can't tell. Take it to the people's court.
We need the way she'd be able to. The only way she'd be able to prove this is to have photos of her right before she went to Macy's and right after, which I don't know, unless you take a selfie of your take a selfie if you take a selfie right before you go in for whatever reason, to show your before and after.
She looks like my mom, so it's freaking me out. I don't like it.
Really?
Yeah, there's something about
X
her.
marks the mom.
Something about her looks like my mom. I think it's because she's wearing a. You know what? This is funny. The other day I just realized this, and no offense, Mom, if you're
Maybe
listening.
She's a mutant.
Yeah, maybe. My mom has been wearing a wig most of my life, and I didn't know this till recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Apparently, in the 60s, she really got down on this idea of wearing wigs, because that was the hot thing to do. You'd wear these like high wigs. You know, picture some 60s dancing girl, and you're like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. And I think she kind of just kept wearing a wig, and oops, that's covering your face. Sorry. There we go. And I never really knew it, and now I know it, and now it's just driving me crazy, because I think about all these pictures. Like, I've looked at some old pictures of me in high school, and there's my mom, and she's wearing a wig, and I just never knew. I had no idea. It just wasn't a thing. So yeah,
that's
like
crazy.
It's like,
wow.
It's like finding out that what's that like finding out?
It's like finding out that Ted Danson was wearing one for 5 seasons of Cheers.
That's true. That was another one. And he still has some kind of weave, right? He does something, even though it's all gray and thin.
I don't know if he does. Well, I guess he must, right? Because he's got the white hair now, but he doesn't have the bald spot in the back center. So maybe, yeah.
Let's see. It says bald implants before and after pictures.
Oh, he had implants.
Oh, look at that. Oh yeah, they're implants.
JC Calhoun says that when he's on The Good Place, he does. So you can see Ted Danson's bald spot on the Good Place.
He's such an iconic dude.
He really is.
That just makes me want to watch Fargo season 2 again. He was really good on that. People forget he was there, but he was in Fargo, and he was fan-freaking-tastic. All right. Mm-hmm. Well, there you go. Man, some of these plastic surgery before and afters are frightening.
Yeah.
Like just the ones that are botched, where people just look like.
I know. I feel like I hope that stuff is starting to disappear. Like I hope not starting to disappear. Let me rephrase that. I hope that there's less and less plastic surgery being done because of how obvious and weird it's starting to look.
Yeah,
And
or
how you look at somebody, you can say, "Oh my God, she looks like that. She's just had really bad plastic surgery," or it's the opposite, and they're getting better.
I think that's it. Is that it's probably getting better, but I don't know. It's hard to say. You look at like any of these on this website that I'm not going to show. It's just like big bloated looking facial weirdness. I just feel bad.
And the chat room is pretty much confirming my fear is that it is it is going up. The use of plastic surgery is
going up, is it? All right.
Ugh.
Brian, we're headed
I
toward
don't want to look like a Kardashian or a Real Housewife of Madison County or whatever.
Augmented humanity. We're all going to do it one day. Everybody's going to get replaced face. Replace face. I don't have bitching resting face. I've got replace face. Oh, yeah. Mickey Rourke before and after. That is a sight to see. Boy, I'll tell you what. All right. Enough of the Hank Hillisms. Let's move on. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to make some things with Bill. We're going to talk to Jury, see what's going on in that Democratic debate deal, see what his take was on all that. Things kind of turned out a little different than people expected. I have a huge beef with it, so I'm excited to talk about it. We'll get to all that in a minute. Before that, though, song brought a Brian, and we'll now explain the Brian. Brian, explain the song. Explain the Brian.
I'm the one who's sick, Scott. Come on.
What is wrong with you?
This is Mesa Cara, Mayssa Karaa, from Los Angeles, from her brand new album called In the Gray. This is the title track. She is a American citizen, but born in Beirut, Lebanon. And so she kind of weaves some of those Middle Eastern influences into her pop music, which I really like. She's also influenced by Florence and the Machine. Can definitely hear that in her really, really strong voice. Totally digging this. It's Mesa Cara from the Simple Cure album. I guess the album is called Simple Cure. The song is called In the Gray.
Do you know that Patrick is half Lebanese? Did you know that?
I didn't know that, really.
Yeah, his dad is Lebanese.
Like Klinger?
Yeah, just like Klinger.
Like Klinger.
His dad. Hi, I'm Patrick. I'm just like Klinger. No,
just like Klinger.
His dad's Lebanese or from Lebanon. His mother is French, and that's why he gets that great skin of his. That bastard. He can tan and all that. Like I can't.
Wow. Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah.
He does have good skin.
And he knows 4 languages. He's really disgusting.
Yeah. He's just too much, what he is.
It's embarrassing, really, for the rest of us. Patrick,
for the rest of us.
Here it is. This is the song. We'll be back in a moment. Stay tuned.
You got part of it right. The end goal of martial arts isn't to get the most points for style. The objective's to win, not win pretty.
Son of a bitch just bit me. No big deal.
This is the morning stream. We're doing it for Kowalski.
And we return now to the broadcast. Welcome back, everybody. Time for us to bring in Big Willie style. You know him as the purveyor of all things punished props.
Big Willie style.
Yep. Ha-ha is how he said it. Let's see. Where's this thing? Here you go.
But Bill just isn't thinking about danger.
This is so true. Bill Duran all the way from Seattle, Washington. Bill, welcome back to the program. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Buddha Cat has graced us with his presence this morning.
You call him it's Buddha Cat, right? Buddha?
Yeah.
Buddha Cat?
All right.
Yeah.
Like in Buddha Edge? Buddha Edge?
Like
No,
Buddha
like
Judge?
he sits with his big belly out on his haunches and
Oh, look at that.
looks
Yeah,
like Buddha,
Mm-hmm.
That's really funny. Little tiny head, very large body underneath.
How long have you had that cat? How old is he?
We got it the year we got married, so 2010.
Wow.
He was a little baby kitten, so he's almost 10.
That's a older cat. Very nice. I like to see a nice older healthy cat. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but it is good to see Bill again. Last time we had you on, you basically didn't build a damn thing, but hey, I'll bet you did this week.
I know.
What's going on over there in the shop this week?
Well, We're taking a few weeks off from putting out any YouTube videos, but I am working on a big project. We made the mini nuke from Fallout. I'm building the launcher for it.
Oh, what?
And it's gonna fling stuff.
Wow.
So
That's
taking
cool.
a few extra weeks to engineer that thing, and that video will be out in a little bit. But I'm also taking time to write a new book, and I figured today we could talk a little bit about writing and publishing your own book.
Ooh, I like this. This is helpful no matter what you're doing. This is good.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
Lay it on.
I like to start with a little bit of my background, because I do have, before I got into writing books about prop making and stuff, I did have a lot of experience writing. My dad is a retired English teacher. He taught middle school English for 36 years, I think. So growing up, I got a lot of, let's call it strong encouragement to use good grammar and to write frequently and to write with proper punctuation and pronunciation.
Wow.
And if you ask me, that is a good thing to enforce on your kids.
Yeah, if you're, especially like my career basically is as a communicator, and we communicate mostly verbally and through the written word. I'm good at words. And so that was a skill that I picked up pretty young, and that helped a lot. In fact, in 7th grade, my dad was my English teacher, which I didn't think was allowed.
That does
But
seem
my
a
dad
little,
pulled a few strings, and he wanted to make sure that in 7th grade, his boys had the best English teacher. Just happened to be him.
Look, I don't have nepotism is a thing, man. It can work. It can work for you. It's fine. It's good. I don't have a complaint.
So anyway, I do have a lot of experience writing. And then in 2013, I thought I'm going to write a prop making book. I learned an awful lot about this thing. I'm going to put it all into this one big tome. It's going to be the definitive guide to end all be all prop making book.
All right.
Which is kind of laughable now in hindsight, considering how much I've learned about making props since then. To think I had the audacity to write like the prop making Bible 6 years ago. But that's what you do.
Won't
You
that
have
always be
lofty
true
goals.
though? Because you could do one right now, and then in 6 years you're gonna look back and go, "Oh man, if I only knew what I knew." Like that's always going to be the process. So you'll just always make a new book. Yeah.
You're right. You just got to write volume 2.
Right.
Anyway,
Exactly. That's why there's second edition. Yeah.
Absolutely. But I got some really great advice from our pal. In fact, I've got his cup I'm drinking on water out of today. My buddy Brian Brushwood. He said, don't do that. He said, write a short book quickly, get it out into the world so that people can see it, and then start writing the next one. So just get some repetition in there, get used to the process. Unfortunately, with ebooks, I'm just making PDFs. Distribution isn't a problem. You know, you can just sell it on your website or sell it on Etsy or wherever, and people just download it. You don't have to mail anything. It's great. So it's a really good way to sort of like get your practice as a writer and also get your work out into the world and start getting feedback. So I did that for a while. I wrote a book called The Beginner's Guide to Making Mind-Blowing Props, which is free on punishprops.com now if you'd like to go get a start. And then I started cranking out Foamsmith books. Once we really got into making stuff out of foam, kind of committed to that and just kept writing ebook after ebook and then publishing it on our website and encouraging people to buy it. And that's kind of how the Foamsmith books got started.
By the way, I'm 100% with this method of just you can plan and ready aim yourself to death. Like, I can't remember who told me this once, but you just want to get out of it.
Analysis paralysis.
Yeah, exactly. It's like ready aim, ready aim, ready aim, ready aim. You need to freaking fire. You need to shoot, pull the trigger and fire. And so sometimes that means that your sense that you're not ready is wrong, but also maybe you're not ready, and it's okay because in the moment you're ready enough. Get it out there, make a splash, make an annoying sound, see what works. I just went through this whole thing with this card game I'm making called Space Rocks Incorporated, which is in test decks are being made right now. And it's the kind of thing I've never made one before. I don't know much about game design. I know what I like when I play them. And so I was in ready aim mode for a long time on this. And I finally just said, you know what? Damn it. I got the art. I got the idea. I got the stuff. Let's just make it and just go. And if it's good, great. If it's okay, great. If it sucks, great. Either way, I need to go through the experience of it. I need to have that experience. And so sometimes you just
And
got to
there's-
throw it at the wall and see if it sticks.
And there's nothing that says that you can't come out with an expansion set of cards that maybe fixes gameplay issues that come up after the first set gets out. It's like, oh, okay, well,
Sure.
this card's a little OP, so here's an expansion card. We just take that other card out, and
Right. Exactly. You can do it's like a patch. It's like a DLC patch.
exactly.
But even if it fails miserably, I am going to count this as a win because I want to have I want to get it done, and then I can move on and go, okay, what did we learn from that? Let's move on to here. I mean, what I hear from you, Bill, is that basically like apply that thinking to whatever it is you're writing about. But especially in writing, I feel like writing is the hardest thing because people sit down and they go, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a imposter, blah, 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 and you just have to go, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every creative person with everything they've finished, especially writers, there are things about the things they've made that they would love to change after the fact. So that's never going away. Just make your peace with the fact that everything you finish, once it's published and out into the world, you'll want to fix it.
Right.
George Lucas did it.
Yeah.
Everyone does it.
Right.
I found that the best thing to do is to just move on to the next thing and improve, or make a version 2.
Sure. Why not?
What we ended up doing once we had enough of these Foamsmith ebooks out in the world, we turned them into print books. So that was when they'd been out into the world a while. We got a lot of feedback from people. We kind of had a much better idea of what these things were supposed to be. And then if you're going to make a print book and you're going to order 1,000 of them from your printer, you want to make sure it's pretty tidy at that point. Because doing a recall or updating a book that's been in print is a lot more challenging and expensive than an ebook where you can just swap out a file.
Yeah, it's like a website or even in your case, if you guys screw up a YouTube video, you can always delete it and put a new one up with an edit.
Sure, if you have to.
Doesn't work.
Once it's in print.
Yeah, doesn't work in print.
So that's what we ended up doing. And there are lots of different printing services out there. We ended up going with a print-on-demand service at first, which is more expensive. But if you only need 5 books, you can order 5 books. And it's the same price as if you order 500. Nowadays, now that we have a much bigger demand for them, we do offset printing. So we have to order 1,000 books at a time, but it's much, much cheaper per unit. And as someone who self-publishes, like that was a good way to sort of taper our way into that amount of volume without having to commit and buy a lot of books that I don't know if we're going to sell.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Nobody does one-offs, or if they do, you kind of get what you pay for, number one, quality-wise, but also they're more expensive per book because it's a volume business, like any kind of printing is, but that in particular.
Print on demand was the one we did. It was the one Amazon owns. I don't know what it's called now, but the quality was great, but the cost was pretty high. And then when we went to offset printing, the volume we buy at, we get the books for about half the price it cost for the print on demand. So we save a ton of money because we can do that volume. But if you can't do that yet, then there are lots of options out there.
Yeah, I was looking. So Lulu used to be the hot thing. I'm looking now. They are still there. They still do, and it's reasonable. Like for example, if you're doing a, let's say premium paperback. Let's look at that option. If you're doing a premium paperback, you're going to pay anywhere between $450 and $950 per book. Your cost at a certain quantity level, and that's going to be a lot more than you would pay if you went and did 1,000 books someplace.
Right. Yeah.
So you just have to either commit to the inventory and hope you're going to sell it all, or you're going to do it the other way.
Individual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or kickstart it, then you have a better idea of how many books you're going to need. That's another way to do it.
Sure, yeah. Or if you don't meet your goal on Kickstarter, then you don't order those books. You don't. That's a good way to see if the demand is there before you commit to spending $10,000 on books.
Yeah.
And then for us, the way we sell our books, the way we promote those books is with our YouTube videos. We make free YouTube videos that anyone can watch. And if they want to dive deeper into the craft, the books are available for them to buy to make that commitment. and that way we have the same voice as everyone else on the planet. We can put our basically advertisements for our products on YouTube, and it will distribute it to every corner of the globe for free, which is amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's totally amazing. Well, these are great tips.
Smart.
Yeah. Brian, let's write a book. You want to write a book? TMS, the book
Totally
about...
want to write a book.
All right, let's do it. We're all set. We've done it. Give
I'll
us a
do
call.
the poop jokes chapter.
All right, I'll do the what word did I really mean chapter. I think I'll do that. I'll have a whole section on accidental.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Have the audiobook read by Scott Johnson.
Oh
so
my
be
gosh.
And then we decided to create the the podcast. Create the podcast. And,
somebody asked me to do someone asked me to do an audiobook read once, and the book ended up getting canceled, so I didn't do it. But I just thought, oh man, I'm gonna have to sit and read a whole book in front of a mic. Y'all get ready to edit.
it'll take hours of
Yeah, it's not going to be good in post. All right, well, Bill, it's always a pleasure. Do you have a little bonus round for us today? Anything special?
I do. Quick recommendation from our friends over at Tested. So they do their premium videos, which are great. And whenever I work with them, we usually film premium videos. And they don't end up on YouTube, but occasionally they do. So they just put one of their model behavior videos up on YouTube where Norm and I paint these little model cars, and we try and get a shiny like automotive finish on them. And it's really great. You should go check it out.
Oh, yeah, check it out.
Oh, very cool. Look at you.
Yeah, look at Norm and you hanging out. I listen to Norm's, I listen to the Tested podcast still, and he has a baby now, and it cracks me up because babies are fun, and it's fun to hear him talk about baby stuff. I don't know why I put it that way.
These are great. Yeah, so this is like got that cool, I'm guessing, undercoat with the sparkle to make the car shiny. I love that. Like the old Matchbox cars and Hot Wheels cars had that kind of finish to them. I loved that.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to replicate in that video. It's super fun.
Oh, very cool.
Very nice.
And if you like it, then there's more of that over at tested.com/premium where they do their premium videos, and you get a cool thing from Adam, usually a poster or something every year.
Sexy. Well,
Yeah,
this all sounds good. Bill Duran, everybody, punishprops.com, Punish Props everywhere you look, like YouTube and all that. But you can also find him on Twitter at Chinbeard. Thanks, dude. Have a good one. We'll see you next week.
See you.
Bye. Bill doing well in our... I want to reiterate something, Brian.
Yes.
I started this. I did a survey, and the survey was basically rate the segments that we do on the show. And it was everything from people like Bill's segment to stuff you and I do. Pre-show banter, the news, songs and music, blah, 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 all that. And... a lot of people took that as they're gonna cut somebody.
we're deciding whose paycheck to eliminate.
Yeah, we're not doing that. It's more of a just like get a little temperature of it. If something's a little low, I want to think of ways to improve that segment. That's all, whatever it may be. And if it's all stuff I'm happy to report that pre-show banter, actually anything involving you and I is like perfect scores. We're not killing. We're not dying at all over there. But anywhere where it's a little weak,
we can still talk to each other, Scott, is what you're saying.
We can still have a podcast that is primarily discussion between me and Brian. We're not going to change that, I know. But the rest of it, little things here and there might could use a little boost or a tweak, or just even sometimes it's just the way you look at it. Like, well, maybe that one's a little too long, or maybe that one's too short, or maybe what they bring to the show, we should ask them to do this. Like, it's not to cut anybody. It was never that. But some people got worried about it, including some of those people. They sent me texts and said, if you're going to chop me, just let me know ahead of time. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not chopping anybody.
Oh, I bet I know who that was.
Yeah, you might.
Probably Wendy. God, she's so sensitive.
Wendy has no idea I'm even doing it. That's the best part.
I know, yeah.
She has no idea. All right, let's do... who? Justin. Yeah.
Oh, who's also just tanking in the polls. Just tanking.
Is he tanking in the polls? Oh, yeah, look at that. His score is so freaking low. I don't know how we're going to make it through this.
These are their stories.
Oh, I'm terrible with names.
Welcome to the program, Justin Robert Young. Hello, Justin.
Hi, friends. How are you?
Oh, my gosh, it worked right away, and you sound great. Holy crap. What's that about?
Jeez. Well, I'm sure I'm gonna tank in this stupid survey of yours.
You're
Like
not.
everybody else talks about things that they like.
You're
I'm the only one who talks about things that
No.
make people angry and upset.
Look, I told you this by text. You're up in the high numbers. You're all good. Like
Echelon, the
there's
upper
nothing-
echelon, because you do it with such love and honesty, even though it's something you hate. It's something we kind of all hate. So
I love it. I'll talk about it all day, which is evidenced by the fact that I talk about it all day and write about it for money.
Right.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
But yeah, no, I was just figuring like everybody else, like, oh man, I would like to be a maker.
Comic books.
I like
movies.
technology. I like the self-exploration. I like movies. And then I'm like, anyway, here's things that deliberately divide half the country and do nothing but cause rage and anger in the host that you've spent so much time listening to.
Well, it's all good because I really like.
So you're saying we shouldn't bring on Third Eagle for our new religion segment?
No.
No, bring him on because I know I'll need some company in the basement of this server.
Yeah, he's kind of the worst, but he also loves us. Check this out.
Where'd you get your body from?
See, he's a real creeper. Anyway, hey,
that sounds like a dance song.
It does a little bit.
I know that does need a beat.
You got a couple of Democratic primary or debates under your belt now.
Debates happened. So excited that
Yeah.
people are actually fake yelling at each other.
Are you okay? Let me get something out of the way, and then I want to ask you a specific question. The thing I want to get out of the way is Democrats suck at getting out of their own way. Like they need. Okay, this is Scott's opinion.
Mm-hmm.
This should be a mandate on Trump, not a sit around and bicker about shit that you can work out later. Like, don't divide further opinions and make you even harder to elect by scrapping about stuff that it's fine to scrap about, but gosh dang it, this entire election is a referendum on the president. That's it. That's all they should be focused on. And they're driving me slightly crazy. All right, that being said, Joe Biden no longer as a shiny bulb as he was the week prior. What happened there? Because no one expected that.
Well, here, hold on. But before we go any further, let me just say that I do slightly disagree with you just from an electability argument, because I think that when you are very invested, obviously, in the process, then I think what you're saying, Scott, is a natural reaction that you're like, no, you're hurting each other. That you all have a finite HP. And if you are spending that HP to fight with each other, then you will have less HP when you go to face the big boss at the end. And I would make the argument that this is not an element of HP, but rather XP. And what you do is you gain XP by vanquishing your rivals. I think that fighting amongst each other during these debates is probably better, specifically to head up against Donald Trump. Certainly the placid, nobody's really disagreeing about much. I don't know. I think we're caring too much about your damn emails. Primary last season did not produce a candidate that beat Donald Trump. So I think that Kamala Harris coming out of that second debate, which is what you asked about with the Joe Biden thing, that shows that somebody can take the bull by the horns and say, no, this is what I want to talk about. And I'm going to benefit my campaign by damaging your campaign, because at the end of the day, that's who's going to be the most fortified are the people that have some victories, some scalps, on their belt from a hard fought primary. I don't think there's anything wrong with them trading paint. And I think based on the fact that Kamala Harris is now, she basically doubled in the CNN poll that came out that really was the most reactionary to the debates. A few of them have come out, but CNN was the most showed the most movement. Joe Biden tanked. Kamala Harris doubled. She was at 6, now she's at 12. That's a big swing.
And you can count that or base that on just their interaction that the two of them had about the busing and the education, the discussion that they had that she kind of called him on the carpet for.
Yeah.
Sure, and that's the thing is like strategically, when you look at exactly what happened, I think it was far more of a loss for Biden than it was a win for Kamala Harris because Kamala Harris can make that statement, but it's up to Joe Biden to decide that he's going to engage with that statement. And the fact that Joe Biden decided that he wanted to make a broadcast where 19 million people were watching, many of them for the first time plugging back into this political sphere, that he wanted to argue as set up by his opponent, a vote that happened when Bewitched was in its first season.
Oh, jeez.
Like, is kind of wild to me. I feel like Joe Biden at this point has the record to say, hey, look, I've paved a road for 40 years on civil rights. You can check the whole and totality of my record. We can go back and argue about the shape of various stones along the way. But to me, and I think what the American people care about is the whole of what I've done and what I'm going to do going forward. Instead, he decided to argue that he was on the side of states' rights in a civil rights argument, which is insane, and to me shows more of a weakness of Joe Biden as a candidate, because again, he could have avoided it if he wanted to. He didn't, and he paid for it.
Now, I got a guy who said to me after these debates, because maybe it was before them, and it was based on our conversation last Tuesday as we were getting ready for them, but I was a little, I think Buttigieg did okay, but it was a little understated, right? And I think part of that's the cloud hanging over him from his stuff he's struggling with at home in South Bend and all that. But I had said something either on the show or otherwise where I'd said I think he's a really smart guy, so he's interesting to me. I like smart people talking smart stuff. And this guy wrote in with his huge long email, and I know you warned me, Justin. You warned me about the Bernie emails. I know you did. Okay. I know that you did, and I listened to you, but I didn't take it that seriously. I was like, whatever. Can't be worse than these Trump people. Guy writes in and tells me that Pete Buttigieg is, quote, a racist pig, and is the only difference between he and Trump is that he's gay, is what he told me.
Yeah.
I don't know even what to say. What do I say to that? I don't know what to say. Like, thanks. I appreciate the info. This is great. It's like I just got directions.
Clearing that up for me.
I appreciate the feedback. Thank you for listening.
But anyway, that aside, I felt like he under delivered, but I still think he's really smart, and I like listening to him, and I think he has good ideas.
Here's the thing for Mayor Pete, and for the record, my point about before I get emails, my point about the Bernie emailers are that they are the top 1% of the 1% of emailers. They email a lot. They are very passionate. They are true believers, and they get their opinion out there. In fact, I'm thinking about on this episode, the next episode of Politics. We've had too calm a discourse in my email over the last few years that I kind of feel like it's now time where I just need to make the clarion call that you can write in your angry emails, but you just have to write them in all caps and tell me that I have to read them in the angry email voice. You can yell at me.
I like that.
You can yell at me. That's fine, but I just want to portray your rage in an auditory manner that lets all of us get the true essence of it. So,
right. Build a segment around it. That's smart. I like it.
No, yeah. Well, that's what I used to do is I would just have the angry, because people get fired up about stuff, obviously, and you know, they'll take a thing that I said the wrong way, or they'll take a thing I said the right way and just disagree with it, and then just want to light into me. So it's just, at least I can make content out of it.
Sure.
But yeah, so Mayor Pete, look, I think Mayor Pete had a very effective debate just in his answer on the South Bend thing alone. I think that nationally, there's only so much that the national audience is going to care about that, and you know, right. And there's the million miles worth of cultural commentary that we can have about how fast we move on from these kinds of shootings. But that's another show. As far as Mayor Pete goes, that was what he needed to do during that debate. He needed to look like he belonged on stage, unlike other white guys I know named Beto O'Rourke. the night before.
Or
evaporated.
strange drunk woman on the far left of the.
Marianne
she's-
Williamson.
she's
all right, here,
awesome.
we will get to Marianne Williamson in a second.
Yeah.
Mayor Pete, here's the deal for Mayor Pete. If Joe Biden evaporates, then he is probably going to pivot harder into the moderate camp because there will be a gigantic void for moderate candidates. He has already, if not in his legislation, in his campaign, angled himself as more of a moderate kind of guy. He talks about religion a lot. He's obviously trying to appeal to a certain Midwestern demographic. So he needs to win Iowa. If you care about Mayor Pete, literally, don't worry. As long as it's polling in the top 5, he's fine nationally. You want to watch his Iowa polls because he's got to win Iowa because he's not going to win New Hampshire because between Bernie and Biden, they're like so known up there. And he's not going to win South Carolina because he doesn't do well with African Americans and he doesn't do well with evangelicals. So that knocks South Carolina out. So Iowa, if you go over 3 and you're not even close to like, the top 2, that's pretty much when people start like, why don't you think about who you're going to endorse?
Yeah, I could see that. Now, look, can we talk about the lady, though? Because she's...
Marianne Williamson. My favorite thing. All right, I'm going to tell you something right now. I said it during the live show that I did on Saturday. Thank you to anybody who came out for that, by the way. Somebody emailed me this, and it's the most brilliant thing I've ever heard. Just one simple sentence. Marianne Williamson looks like Michael Jackson. Like late Michael.
She kind of does.
I'm telling you, the cheekbones, the hair length, the nose, it is all there. It is all happening at the zoo, man.
Yeah. That's pretty funny.
So, here's the deal. Marianne Williamson is a kook. She's an anti-vaxxer. She knows Oprah. She's an anti-vaxxer. And she writes books. An anti-vaxxer.
All right.
Which, by the way, ironically, makes her more of a danger to children than Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, if you're talking life and limb, sure. Yeah, I'm with you. So hold on a second, though.
Yeah.
I felt like she's almost. If I was conspiratorial, I would say she was a plant in order to make it so what's her name on SNL had a really good impression coming up. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't think of her name. What's her name? It's that
Marianne Williamson.
I don't know.
No,
Marianne
on
Williamson.
SNL, the SNL lady.
Kate McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon. Kate McKinnon.
Oh, Kate McKinnon.
Kate
sure.
McKinnon is like
Is she still on or did she leave?
No, she's still on. She's still
Still
on.
on.
She's perfect for this. Even if she wasn't still on, she'd come back for this because she's so.
I don't know if she's gonna survive the summer because there's another debate in Detroit at the end of July, and then the ones after that they actually raise the bar to entry. So right now you have to poll 1% in 3 qualifying polls and have a certain amount of unique donors. So not amount of money, but amount of people that have donated to your campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And they are getting unique donors. There's actually this whole fascinating thing that's happening right now. And by fascinating, I mean, I find it interesting and it's going to bore the paint off of everybody's houses while I, prattle on. But the way that that some of these candidates like Kirsten Gillibrand or.
See, and that's who I thought that Kate McKinnon would do is Gillibrand for sure. But
yeah. The way that like candidates like that are making their individual donor threshold is by spending a ton of money. In fact, an insustainable amount of money on digital advertising. So they're like going out and all their ads, you can see them on Facebook and stuff like that, are just them saying like, hey, donate $1. You might not even like me. In fact, here, go to this website and you can donate $1 to a bunch of candidates. And that's where stuff like Act Blue comes in. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. This is going to be unsustainable for the longer that it goes. And the higher that those thresholds get, the harder candidates like Marianne Williamson are going to find to do it. So I think by the time that the fall debates roll around, I don't know if we're going to see Marianne Williamson's unique brand of crazy.
Yeah.
Do you feel like having them do the random draw to separate the candidates was a better method than doing it as just kind of the low card and the high card kind of thing, like they did last year.
I like it better than the JV debate thing because I do believe that we learned a lot.
Some chance.
We learned a lot on night one. I think that obviously in a perfect world, you would probably separate the top 6, like 3 on one, 3 on the other. In the way that the random draw kind of worked out, it was 4 of the top 5 ended up. In fact, I think 5 of the top 6 ended up on one on night 2.
Yeah.
So I think you could divvy it up a little bit more, but to be totally honest, I loved having more space there, and I don't think that right now, this early, that you should be, because if you put people on a JV stage, you're basically saying your campaign's over. That's like hospice.
That's true. Because people just say, "Oh, I'm just going to watch night 2. I'm not going to watch the JV," and they're only going to the higher ranking candidates are only going to get more and more high ranking, and the lower ones are just
well, I mean, and even before last cycle, they did the JV debates before the big debates. So it was like the JV debates were happy hour, right? And then the big debates were at prime time. And it was like, okay, well, then what the hell are we doing? Like, who cares about any of these people? And a lot of them wound up skipping it. So, I think the way they did it now was good, not great, because if it was great, it would be my idea, which is to have the top 2 polling candidates, which in this case would be Biden and Bernie, pick their debate slate like dodgeball, like school dodgeball. Oh, my God. Can you imagine the drama? People would be like, yeah, he didn't pick me because he's ducking me. And imagine if we do it again, if Biden could do it again, and now we just make sure that Kamala Harris is not on his.
He's on Bernie's.
Like, oh, no, not falling. Fool me once, shame on me, Kamala. You go on Bernie's side. And then she's the last one picked. That would have been huge. That would have been funny. So
do you think
interesting.
Do you think that their exchange in that second debate ensures that there will not be a Biden Kamala Harris combined ticket? Because that's what will probably happen here. Some of the 2 candidates will team up, and you'll have a presidential and vice presidential candidate, cater-made and ready to go.
That really doesn't happen all that often, though. Like that's what everybody kind of wants to happen. But I think the last time it did happen was probably Kerry Edwards, and that was, I mean, there's a lot of things uninspiring about the Kerry Edwards ticket, but that was certainly one of them. But no, normally people wind up. Well, no. It was Biden. Yeah, because Biden ran, but Biden dropped out so fast that he was barely in. I mean, he dropped out like right at Iowa, so he was barely in the race. But I guess he was technically in the race.
Right.
But usually it's like people want like, oh, Hillary Bernie, or Trump Ted Cruz or something like that. But the final 2 that it comes down to, people are like, people are so excited about this. This would be really great. The reason why that doesn't happen a lot of times is because of what you just said. There's either bad blood where you feel like, all right, maybe we had like a non-aggression pact and then you went back on it, or I can't trust you, or you're too ambitious, or you're not gonna be on the team. But a lot of times people want vice presidents that will shut up and be vice president and will be happy to sit down and go to all the state dinners that the president doesn't want to go to and just not rock the boat.
Sure.
If you haven't seen the lady we were talking about earlier, I forgot her name already. What's her name? The stoner lady?
Catherine. Marianne Williamson.
Marianne Williamson. If you want to have a really good time, just go dig through her Twitter for an afternoon. It's fan-freaking-tastic. It's all like inside your soul and freaking healing crystals and all kinds of BS. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful Twitter account and should be looked at by everyone.
He also said that vaccination laws were Orwellian, apparently forgetting to realize that George Orwell died of tuberculosis, which we now have a vaccine for.
I didn't know that. Is that true?
Yeah, look it up.
That's amazing. All right. Sick burn. All right.
Yeah.
Here's the good news. Tonight, I'm on your wackadoo show. I'm on Night Attack tonight.
You're on Night Attack, huh?
I am. I'm your guest, so treat me accordingly. No, I don't. Do whatever you want with me, I guess. Use my body. I don't care. But that's tonight.
Man, that is like really like you just showed up to like a soccer fundraiser, and you're like, well, all right, whatever. I'll get my clothes off. It's just a talk show, Scott.
It's just a talk show. We get to talk. It's going to be great. I'm excited about it. I've been trying to lock a date down forever, and we finally, Bryce and I finally got something worked out. So I'm excited to be on and do whatever it is we do tonight with you and Schwood and Bryce and anyone else who feels like joining in. Very excited.
I will tell you what, and actually, I'm shocked that I have not pitched this to you before personally. But I think both of you guys, Scott and Brian, you guys would really love this. There was a show by the name of Something's Off with Andrew Heaton, starring Andrew Heaton, who is a comedian and a political pundit. It was for The Blaze, and he has since parted ways with them. But today, me and Brian are actually recording the first episode of his new podcast. But I think Scott, he is far more than I am a political ideological match for you.
Really?
I think you would very much enjoy him, and he is a very, very, very goofy person. Like, I think part of the reason why I didn't work with him in The Blaze was that, like, literally half his show was him just writing fake ads that created this extended universe of diners in the Dallas Metroplex area that were defining themselves as either serving and cooking your entire meal on horseback, or the rival diner that promises no horses will ever come within 5 feet of your food.
Wow. It sounds like something I would like. Someone in the chat says he's not with the Blaze anymore, but
No. Yeah. No, so that's it. So he parted ways.
Oh, he did part ways. They were saying, okay.
A couple, like about a month ago, actually. And he is recording his new show today. So it should be out at some point over the next a few weeks, but I'll make sure to plug it. But if you want to just go back and listen to some of those Something's Off with Andrew Heaton episodes, they are very, very funny. He wrote, it was a 5-day-a-week show, and he wrote a fake ad and a monologue by himself for every one of those shows. Like, we do, I mean, you guys do a 5 shows a week, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, and that's taxing, and you guys are just reading news articles and talking to each other and telling y'all what happened the day before. That dude was like writing stuff. I was like, oh my God, as somebody who's close to doing that, you are a crazy human being. And he's like, yes, I'm not doing it anymore. It's going to be a weekly show going forward.
Oh yeah,
like,
no, doing that on the daily, you need $1 million. You need a huge contract to get that on the daily. That's insane.
Yeah, and I don't think he did.
We're already insane. We're already insane for what we do.
It's going to be great stuff. So people, that'll be my plug today. Is go back and listen. In fact, if you only have one episode to listen to, go back and listen to the Something's Off Christmas special. 90% of which is not politically related at all. There's like one point in which the ghost of Christmas past is Bernie Sanders. Other than that, it is all horse related, and it is bizarre and hilarious. I would highly recommend it.
Wow. All right. Well, fantastic. That's a thing you can do. The other plug is check us out tonight, Night Attack. I'll be there. What time do you guys do that? I forget. I should figure that out.
3 shows at 6, shows at 7 Pacific time, so I'll move it up 1 hour for you guys. And then we usually have the guest on 15 minutes in so it'll be about 8:15.
About 8:15 my time, yeah. That sounds right. Well, I'm excited because I haven't done it in a while. It's been ages.
Yeah. And just real quick, Jedi71 says The Blaze, huh? Doesn't sound like my cup of tea. The week before he parted ways with The Blaze, part of the reason why he suspects that there might have been some discontent was that he was vehemently advocating for the impeachment of Donald Trump and talking about the time he did psychedelic mushrooms.
Wow.
So he was certainly not, despite the fact that he had the set where Tommy Lauren used to be, he was certainly not in that the Blaze's hive mind.
And Glenn Beck's still all he's still flip flopped over to the Trump side again, right? Because for a while there he was pretending like he was anti, and then his fans rejected it, and then he was like, "Well, wait, I guess I'm pro Trump then." That's still a thing.
I don't know. I don't follow the ins and outs of Glenn Beck. Really, the only thing I know about Glenn Beck is when I went to go do Andrew's show, I went to the Blaze in Dallas. I went to their headquarters and found out that Glenn Beck, major cinephile. Like, he owns a lot of movie memorabilia.
Wow.
And he also has a real eye for set dressing. So those are the two compliments. Although I think I remember
he's planning on opening his own Planet Hollywood or something.
Yeah.
I think I remember texting Scott because I was on his set, and he always has those like crazy like serial killer whiteboards
Yeah.
of like all of his like theories and diagrams and like charts or whatever.
Yep.
And I remember just taking pictures of all of them and sending them to Scott like without warning. Like, here are Glenn Beck's whiteboards.
And it was freaky, some of it. Some of it was freaky, like end of world, end times, like a lot of that stuff, which I know is his, that's part of his bag, but I don't know.
Yeah,
that's.
But he
awesome.
also owns one of the. He owns the an editing machine that is suspected to have edited "It's a Wonderful Life."
Whoa, really?
I'm
cool.
a major cinephile. I'm not saying that because he owns a few replica Darth Vader helmets. Like, this dude has like ridiculous amounts of movie props.
Man, that's like having a whole. It's like having the whole Predator suit or something like that. That's amazing.
No, yeah, I think he's got the necklace from Titanic. One of the original Darth Vader like full outfits. And then some other stuff. I don't know. There's a bunch of wild stuff, man. He loves movies. And also they shoot in the same compound that they used to shoot Barney and RoboCop.
Wow. Really?
It's just funny that those two things are in the same place.
Yeah.
Let alone.
Yeah, but they have one of them,
shows
like
in
they
the
have
past
one of the old Barney trees. When you walk through their little bullpen area, they have one of the old Barney trees behind glass, but nailed into it is the Constitution, which is like the most Glenn Beck thing I could think in terms of iconography.
Right.
Like
That's
a Barney
awesome.
tree with the Constitution nailed into it.
That's
It's my favorite.
the greatest thing I've ever heard. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because I love you, you love me sounds a little too socialist.
I kind of agree.
You don't have to turn the contrast too far to make purple into red.
And now I'm just picturing a big slobbery looking tainted purple dinosaur trying to cross the street while a car just smears it up its window. That's right. RoboCop reference. Take it easy, Justin. We'll see you tonight. Oh, whoops. It didn't.
I'll buy that for $1.
I can't
Bye.
hang up on you. Bye.
Bye.
There he goes. Oh, he made his own reference to RoboCop.
He did.
I'd buy that for $1, he said. That's great.
Classic.
It is the
Buy
classic.
that for $1.
All right, we are done for the day. It was very good having Brian
30
back.
30 seconds to comply.
30 seconds to comply. That's all we have left before the Ed 2000 or whatever the hell it's called is going to shoot us all up to pieces.
That's right.
So be like Ronnie Cox and get the H out of here. Here we go. Patreon.com/TMS is how you support this fine show. Please do it if you'd like to. We'd love it. You don't have to, but we'd love it if you did. And for those that do, we really appreciate it. So thank you guys very much. It's a brand new month. Time to get in. Time to get hopping. That's patreon.com/TMS. Frogpants.com/TMS for everything else you're looking for. Brian, we should play a song. Do you have one?
Let's play a song. This one's going out to Dad Beeman, who says, "Hey, Scott and Brian, my dad, Russell Beeman, is leaving for Korea in a month, so we're going from Maryland to our hometown in Texas for 2 weeks with a 3-day drive there. I was wondering if you could pick any song you think would be relative to our situation, preferably family-friendly, as the whole family would be listening. Song about family, road trips, or both, if possible. Oh, yeah. Is it too early to get a fish sandwich?
Oh, man. No. Maybe. Hold on.
Is it?
Well, okay.
Maybe.
Let's
A little bit.
I like fishing.
No.
We asked for more.
No. There it is.
Hey, it's too early to get a fish sandwich?
There it is. Sorry.
Perfect.
Yeah.
This is so the one I decided to go with is a cover of Born to Run. Now, Born to Run, one of the classic road trip songs. A lot of the versions that I have are covers that are done with like slow acoustic. Do baby we were born. You know, you just kind of mellow it out. I wanted one that rocks, so I had to go back a few years to a version by Susie Quattro. If you remember her, she was involved kind of tangentially with the Runaways. She herself wasn't a runaway until I think kind of a reunion situation when Joan Jett didn't want to come back to the Runaways. I think Susie Quattro filled in for her. But this is a version that she recorded for, or that they released as part of the uncut Born to Run 2003 CD. To cover Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run, here is Susie Quattro.
All right. We'll see you guys. When will we see them? We'll see them tomorrow. Yep.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Brian will be, I'm going to predict, you're going to be 78 tomorrow. 78%.
I'm hoping to hit the 80s because I'm going to lift today. So I'm going to hope to to be in the 80s.
All right. Well,
But we'll see.
Don't let anyone lick your steering wheel this time. That's all I'm saying. Thank you all for being here. We'll be back tomorrow. See you then. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Frog Pants Network. Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Disassembled.
Disassemble.
That wasn't even number 5. That wasn't even Short Circuit.
No, it was not. You are correct. Bing, 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 bing. All right, time for us to do a title and some descriptors. Thoughtfully provided by our listeners, because they're great.
If I could put a turd in a bottle.
If I could put turd in a bottle. That should be in the description for sure. I'm putting that in there.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Let me do these.
Camel toe deck, I think, is really good.
Camel toe deck.
Saving Aunt Jemima, I think, is good.
Saving Aunt. Whoops, Aunt Jemima. I don't know how to spell that. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. Won't really matter.
Cosmonauts not jizzed about the situation. Rainbow Bright. That is a rough one.
That's great. I don't think we can use it either
Can't
way.
use it, but I love it.
Cosmo Nut Job is pretty funny though. Cosmo Nut Job.
Cosmo. I like that. Cosmo Nut Job are in space. I'm just going to add a little. So it's not just a single word. Let's see. Send a toilet screaming over the hill. There is no semen in space. Actually, I'm going to put that in the description. That's fine. There is no semen.
Semen in space.
You know what I'm going to say instead, just to clean it up? I'm going to say there are no sea men in space. Like sea people, men on the sea.
So, but that's one we're going to have to read, right? So we just got to make sure whoever gets that puts a space in between the two words.
Yeah,
there are no sea men in space.
There are no sea men in space. There we go. Okay.
Okay.
Brian polished off his bottle. What is that? I don't know what that is.
Polished off my bottle.
I don't know what that is. Scott got the stink eye, pink eye from the pool. What? Oh, because the guy in the house. More points than regular meat. We're putting that in. That's pretty good. Actually, that's a pretty good title. I think our title is More Points Than Regular Meat today. That's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, I like that. More points than regular meat.
Yep. And let's do one more. Incremental granular improvement. Okay, and then we'll do making things with Bill, jury, duty, and more. Paste, delete. All right, Brian, we can read it now.
Scott. Okay.
Let me just start the little file here. All right, here we go. It begins in 3, 2, 1. Coming up on TMS, if I could put a turd in a bottle.
Camel toe deck.
Saving Aunt Jemima.
Cosmo Nut Jobs are in space.
There are no sea men in space.
Incremental granular improvement.
A lot of space in those other two.
Yeah, a lot of space.
Making things with Bill.
Jury duty and more space on this episode of The Morning Stream.
Oh, see?
I almost said The Morning Space. The Morning Space Stream.
That would be all right. I wouldn't have.
Yeah, I don't think it would throw people off that much.
No, it would have been fine. Okay, save and clean and jerk. All right, we did it. Woohoo! Well done, everybody. So, you got any big plans today? You just stuff, just things.
I'm gonna eat lunch, and then I've got 28 rides I still need to give before Saturday.
Oh my Lord.
To get my number for the lift bonus. So
does that feel like a lot, or is that seem?
No,
okay.
It doesn't.
All right.
I think it feels about right, especially since I don't have to worry about practice bike rides anymore, because that last week was like, all right, gotta do practice bike rides, and I had about 2 hours to go up and do lift and But I'm gonna eat lunch. I'm gonna rest. So don't worry, I'm still gonna get a little rest, and then I'm going to go up and drive.
Make sure you rest. Always rest.
I will.
Bitchy resting face. Bye, Brian. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you for hanging with us. We're out of here. Quick note that There will be, yes, Frog Pants plays at noon. Wait, let me make sure I didn't schedule anything dumb. Nope, I think we're good. Yeah, Frog Pants plays at noon, and then, oh my gosh, when am I going to, I got to watch a movie before Tom and I do our show tonight. Busy Tuesday. Anyway, yes, I'll be here. I'll be here at noon. So I'll see you guys at noon. Don't know what I'm playing yet. I'll figure it out. I don't know. It won't be something scary. I can promise you that. Need a break. Need a break from the scary. So no screams, just streams. Okay, that's it. Thanks everybody for hanging with me, and I want you to hear something here. Bo made. If I can find it. It's really good. Where did I put it? I can't find where I put that. Is it TMSPM? No. Is it core? Well, I can't find it very easily. Oh, maybe it's under here. Oh, yeah, here we go. So Bo made a version of Invincible on guitar. It's really nice. Bo Schwartz. I want to play it. So here it is. This is him.